Hello and welcome to Adlam. I am Adam, and in today's touring car deep dive we're looking at the Audi Sport RS3 LMS. So as I mentioned before, today we've got the first race is going to be before update 7 with the old penalty system, and the second race will be afterwards because it's Brands Hatch, so it has to be afterwards. So let's get straight into it. So firstly, just going to show the end of my qualifying. I screwed up the final lap.
One more.
That ended up being 6th. The guy obviously who qualified ahead of me had quit before the race starts. So on the grid here, I actually get a really good start. So this is with the manual and clutch. So this is my first race start with it in this car. I was pretty impressed that I got such a good start. It's coming into turn 2. And I just thought I'd hold it around the outside. Which, you know, there's a little touch there with the Mercedes, but no biggie, you know. Didn't affect either of us really. So we move on. Coming down towards Sunset. I know only a few of the corner names. With this it's just a case of like at the curb on the left, just literally tapping the brake. In this car I found I did have to shift a third, fourth, just was too low in the red range. Yeah, the guy in front went wide, so that's up to 5th for me. So I've got the Mercedes behind. Up my backside, but up through here I should pull away just with the extra grunt. So with the next video, by the way, I will look at all the nerfs and buffs for the cars that I've already done. I've sort of trying to figure out how to test the nerfs. To be fair, the VW's buff makes it basically identical to what I had anyway, so my time should be even more accurate than it used to be. Here it was nice side by side. Like I said, there was some door banging, but there's a bit more here. Eventually I have to surrender the position. I'm not sure what the Civic was doing there. He barely kept that legal, and he's squeezing me a little here, but we get onto the straight alongside each other. I think this is what cost me 5th in the end to the Mercedes ahead, is just having them alongside me just cost me through here, especially as he keeps banging into me. But then he goes deep into turn 2, and that obviously then frees me up to pursue the Mercedes ahead. Through barbecue. It's like my exit there wasn't perfect. It's not this corner that I seem to struggle with the exit. It's the one after Sunset. As you saw on lap 1, I struggled with that too. This corner coming up here, like the exit of this, I seem to always struggle with. I don't think I'm getting enough curb. Definitely didn't on that occasion. But it's cost me here. So switching this, going into this first S. Give the guy room, as you see, plenty of room, but then he just decides I don't exist, so that happens. Mercedes behind, presses pause to try and avoid, but this guy, yeah, just decides I don't need to be there. I couldn't have moved. I knew he was coming. I was like, you're way quicker than me, I'm just going to move all the way to the right, give you all the space in the world, but he still manages to bump me off into the grass, but whatever, that ends up costing me. I think I'm down here in 16th, I think it is now, behind this guy. We'll see in a moment, because there's a reason I stuck with it. And this was obviously kind of referred to the old penalty system, how bad it was with things like this. Yeah, it was 16th, I was right. See there? Yeah.
Total time penalty.
And not only that one, but we're going to get another one here because of how much he brakes. But it's ridiculous how hard he brake there.
Total time penalty is about 1.5
But never mind.
seconds.
It is what it is. So we're going to jump forward to the end of lap 3, so one lap further ahead, and I know how hard he brakes now, so I decided I was going to do that. And I said that I ordinarily wouldn't, but he brakes so hard so early, it kind of, I knew that was going to be my spot to overtake him on the next lap. So just hovering. I go deep here. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I went deep and then he just bashed me. Like I wasn't there. So that was kind of nice side by side. I did pinch him a little, but there was no contact. So moving on. So to go back going through Sunset. So this is when I start trying to change it, but as you can still see, compared to the car behind, I still didn't quite carry the speed that I should. But these S's, I know I got them right because I ended up tapping him there. I didn't get a penalty for that one. And again, because these two here, their braking zones are way early. Do you know what I mean? It was comfortable. Made the apex no problem. And away I went. And so now we're jumping to the end of lap 5. Because I did 5 laps on mediums. And the main bell end of this particular race is this guy just alongside me here. So it's not for this. This is like, okay, he turned in on me. Like, it's not like it was my front end. It was literally my back wheel. So there's no way he couldn't have seen I was there. But that is what it is. Here he ends up going sideways. He starts to lose it, and I just, yeah, nowhere to go. So that is what it is. I continue on. He obviously corrects himself. He didn't like that very much, so he gives me this side swipe. I'm like, whatever. Okay, let's carry on. So nothing he's done so far is why he's a bell end, by the way. This is, you know, this is still to come. Still to come. So I just spend the rest of the lap obviously catching up with him. And this is the same lap. This is another lap later. Coming down to the crocodiles. And it's a bit deep there. Through Cheetah, I think he doesn't quite get that spot on either. And so coming into the final corner. And this right here is why he is a bell end. And so he got the appropriate response. And I feel no remorse for that penalty whatsoever. I just wanted to continue racing. I was going to let bygones be bygones, move on. He obviously was still holding a grudge. So, fuck him. Bell end. That's all I got to say to that one. But anyway. And I think that is pretty much all the action left of this race. So we're just coming, here to the final corner of the final lap. We put such a lead on him. I don't think we end up losing another spot actually, because we had such a big gap to the cars behind. So we end up finishing in 14th, I believe it will come up to in the end. Yes. So, yeah, not great. It all started with that, well, the 2 Civics really, but anyway. So, moving on to the hot laps. First of all, we'll do the stats. This is one car that hasn't been nerfed in any way, so what I've written down still stands. 370 horsepower, 76 kilowatts of power. Torque is 333 pound-foot, which is 451 newton meters. And the weight is 1,254 kilograms, which is 2,766 pounds. And if you wonder why I always have the kilograms before the pounds, that's because it's the way we do it in the UK. So really nice turn 10 if you could, you know, do that, so we could adjust those things manually to like a specific country, because we don't use pounds like you, but we use everything else that you do. But anyway, I digress. One other little thing, 1010 wise, is corner names. I've come to realise they really don't give a shit about getting them right. Because when I loaded into this, you have the woman talking about this corner, and the corner she's describing is Radion, but she's calling it Eau Rouge. And I'm like, that's not Eau Rouge, that's Radion. Club and Vale, they're not named right. The list, I could go on with others, but anyway, let's get into this car. So, obviously it's the most powerful, and it's still the most powerful. I think with the buffs, I think the Subaru maybe has more power, but the Audi still seems to be the OP car from what from my feeling, driving it and what have you. Once I tune this, I feel like I could cream the lap times. Didn't have the best laps putting all this together, if I'm honest with you. As you can see right at the moment so far, I'm only the 2:37.8, which is not a good lap at all. I'll be honest with you, this is the second run I had to do, because the first time I forgot to push the record button, and if I could show you that time, it would have been a 2:35.9, and I was saying to Crispy I think a 2:34 was possible. But on this day, I did obviously everything the same. It just wasn't coming together. So this is obviously the time we have to go with, because I'm a donut and forgot to push record. But we're looking obviously at a 2:36.1 from the link. Definitely not going to get that. Where we're going to slot into there, 2:36.844. Which I think was just ahead of the MG, which will actually be slower, and then the very next lap I did that and fucked it, so never mind. So we're going to move on to our second and final race of the day here at Brands Hatch. So this is my first time racing it without a racing line, so my qualifying wasn't good. I got a terrible start, as you can see. So I'm stone dead last going into Paddock Hill Bend, which is fine. To be honest with you, I think that's the safest place to be, going into Paddock Hill Bend. So, cruising around there, coming up to Druids. I look for the board, I think that's the 50 board on the left there. Absolute carnage. I think my internet's shit in the bed. But I managed to gain 4 places. And then there's more carnage there. The Civic can thank me for writing him. Trying to find myself some space. So this obviously currently the touring cars are back on long races, but this was obviously the last time they were on long races. I think this was actually the very last race before, actually I'm pretty sure it was the last race before they switched to short races. And yeah, so it was going alright from the start. Like I said, qualifying did not go well for me because I don't know Brands Hatch without a racing line, and it's night time, so I'm having to learn like sheen curve here. I think I got it right twice the entire race. Sterling's, there's not really much you can get wrong about this. It's a pretty straightforward turn, 90-degree left. And then down towards the Clark curve. Just sort of settling, and then onto the Brabham Straight. So British tracks, you may notice I do kind of know a lot of the names. Donington, I know a few. Thruxton I know because it's my local track. Silverstone I know because it's the F1 track. This place I know because it's my dad's local track, and it used to be an F1 track. And I watch British touring cars, of course, so I remember this. That's Graham Hill Bend there. This is the Cooper Straight. That guy's a twat, as you can see. Pushes me onto the grass. Coming up to Surtees. I think the Cooper Straight and this guy, me and him always seem to have, I think we have another issue later on, but obviously that's clearly him trying to shove me off into the grass. Like, there's no way that wasn't. But I'm not going to bite, like, you know, I let the red mist descend far too often, so I thought, nope, get him up the inside into Hawthorns. I forget this corner name, but I screw it up. Anyway, so because I screw that up, I can't do Dingledell right. I know that's Dingledell, but down and up back towards the Sheen curve, which is this turn coming up, which I screwed up there too. So anyway, I think this is the end of lap 2, I want to say. The start of lap. It's start of the next lap anyway. I forget which lap we're on. I think we're on lap 3 or 4. This one I feel like, now I sort of think back to it. At the time I think, oh, that's just him being a twat, but no, I think that's kind of on me. I'll accept that one, that time. But yeah, my initial feeling that was that he forced me out, but I feel like, no, he just braked early and then I clipped his back end and that's what sent me out. So upon reflection, that second incident was on me, but the first one was, yeah, him still being a bell end. So coming down towards the Graham Hill bend, he just took himself out there. Again, I don't know, because my internet was being a bit dodgy at the time, whether there was some, lag or something, I don't know, but I didn't get a collision thing come up, so I'm going to accept nothing. So yeah, so I've had my pit stop. Yeah, that's what screwed me up there. Same guy, by the way. Him coming out of the pits just completely threw me off, and I end up completely ballsing up. Obviously, I try to get across to the right as much as possible to get out of this guy's way. So note to self, when I go to these cameras, I need to have something so I know what lap we're on. So I know we're on the penultimate lap now because of the first person view, but I need to make a little thing in the corner for you and for me so we all know what lap I'm on. So I believe this is called Pilgrim's Drop. I don't know for sure, but I think that oh yeah, that lovely move around there. Literally, he was going so slow down that straight, it's like the only place I had to go was around his outside into the braking zone. I managed to make it work, so I thought I was quite impressed with myself for that one. So, on to the final lap. So we've just gone through Paddock Hill, here we go on to Druids. And down towards the Graham Hill bend. Onto the Cooper Straight. So then through Surtees. I don't think this actual straight has a name. So if they're going to follow Silverstone's ruling, maybe it'll be a Hamilton Straight, who knows. But I don't think the actual straight has a name. But I know that's called, I think that's called Pilgrim's Drop. This is Hawthorns. I want to say this turn is Westfield, I think. Don't quote me on that. This section here is called Dingledell. And then the Sheen curve. Into Sterling's. I believe this straight is called Clearways. He ends up sideswiping me there. Which is nice because I think this gets me a top 10 finish in the end. Because the guy's penalty ahead of me. So we go through Clark Bend or curve, down the Bradham Straight, and yeah. So I think I end up beating him across the line. Just look at the time quick. No, I didn't. Half a second, but no, less than that. It's like 300ths, nearly 400ths of a second. That he beat me across the line, but obviously ultimately I didn't have a penalty, he did, so top 10 finish for me. So yeah, I enjoyed the car. The new penalty system I feel is much better. It's closer to what it was before, but it's not the same as it was before. I have noticed there are differences, So I think it's a step in the right direction. I love the fact Brands Hatch is there now. Now can I have the twin ring Motegi, please? Because I want the road course of that track. I love that track, and the fact that no game has it, none of the console games anyway has it, drives me nuts. So twin ring Motegi, that's the only track I want. But anyway, the car, like I said, most powerful. Back end sometimes is a little sketchy. It's fine on curbs. Tyre wear isn't too bad. It's the OP car for a reason. Now that the MG has been nerfed to Kingdom Come. And also, by the way, with the MG nerf, I can't realistically the only way I can do that is just by making the car heavier, because there's no way I can use the PI to bring the power down. So I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to give you a comparable lap now that they've nerfed the MG. And this is why I'm frustrated with the way they nerf it, because it's just, I can't, it's not replicatable. But never mind, you know, it's not going to change anything. So I'm just going to have to be frustrated and try and figure it out for you. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. So if you enjoyed the video, do hit the like button. If you really enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.